Extensive repair work has been carried out at the RLB International Airport to address roof leaks in sections of the terminal building. A video showing significant water pouring through the roof a few months ago went viral, prompting concerns among the public. CEO of the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, SCASPA, Adiola Moore, outlined for SK Newsline the scope of the repairs completed at the terminal.
We have done work, extensive work, I must say, on the roof. What we found is that, some of the areas where the old Golden Rock was joined to the new RLB airport were compromised. And so we've done some extensive work on getting that rectified. And I can say so far we've had, some heavy rainfalls and no leakage. We're hoping that, the fixes that we would have applied through one of our external service providers would be enough, to keep us through. And if there are any repairs that needs to be done throughout the time, we are ready to jump on top of that and get it done as soon as possible, because the RLB airport is our gateway, as we say, to tourism, and tourism is our biggest sector here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Ms. Moore also spoke on the upgrades made to the airport's immigration systems.
So what we're doing is trying to create smoother operations, smoother processes. So we've introduced the CUTE system, which is the Common Use Terminal Equipment, or CUS, the Common Use Self-Service System. So you'll see in the check-in area, for example, we have kiosks that are scattered throughout the terminal where passengers can now go and check in without having to go to the counter. And if you do go to the counter, what we've done, instead of having dedicated spaces for, one particular airline where you'll see, for example, American Airline slated at the top of 2 counters, American Airline or any other airline can now log on to any of the counter spaces, and they're log into their unique platforms, and they can now offer more counter space, more lines to check in passengers very fast. We've opened up the space at the top by the security screening area so that passengers can flow through more smoothly. And on arrival side, as you can see, in collaboration with the Immigration Department, we've introduced the APIS system, where you can freely walk through once you've filled your KN form online ahead of time. You can freely walk, and if you did not fill it ahead of time, our friendly customer service representatives are there to help you fill those forms, and you can easily walk through that system and get you down to baggage. And even in the baggage area, we've streamlined some of our processes there, where the Customs Department, they're able to take a quick photo of you and send you on through. So the process, I would say, takes approximately 15, maybe 20 minutes to get you from the aircraft out to your family and on your way to a very splendid vacation right here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
St. Kitts and Nevis now operates a modern, fully digital immigration platform built around the Electronics Travel Authorization, ETA, launched in May 2025. The system requires most visitors to apply online through the St. Kitts and Nevis e-border app or website, knatravelform.kn, enabling a smooth, contactless entry process supported by biometric facial recognition. This upgrade replaces old paper-based forms and significantly speeds up passenger processing. I'm Andre Huey reporting for SKN Newsline.
On the commemoration of the 40th anniversary of the Bank of Nevis, Premier Mark Brantley reflected on the late national hero, the Right Excellent Sir Simeon Daniel, Nevis's first Premier, describing him as a visionary for starting the Bank of Nevis Limited. Founded in 1985, the Bank of Nevis was established to help generate economic growth, facilitate foreign exchange services to business and individuals, and to play a key role in advancing the visions and fostering the development of the country. Speaking at the anniversary event in downtown Charlestown, Premier Brantley commented upon the pushback against the concept, believing time and circumstances will determine success years into the future, while urging the long-term commitment to the institution's roots.
As Premier of this island, I am exceedingly proud of institutions like the Bank of Nevis. But the Bank of Nevis is not alone. I'm exceedingly proud of this island of Nevis. I'm exceedingly proud of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. We are hearing today, 40 years on, of the aspirations, and we heard the CEO. The CEO is telling you and telling me that in time to come, every territory in this region will have a Bank of Nevis. And CEO, I'm going to hold you to it. Because despite what some may think, I'm hoping to live for a long time. So I'm going to be back for the 80th celebration. I'm going to hold you to it, CEO, because I have heard it being whispered in some quarters that the Bank of Nevis has somehow outgrown its Nevisionness. That as you look now regionally and internationally, you must get a name that somehow leaves a little Nevis behind. I'm saying don't do it. Remember where you come from. Remember all the stories you would have heard. Remember those 10 who put their hands in their pockets and put $25,000, which in 1985 was a significant sum. Remember that for 5 years we are told there was no profit, and the sacrifice that the directors would have made so that we can now enjoy what we enjoy today, a billion-dollar institution. And as I reflect on whether you should go to St. Lucia as the Bank of Nevis, or go to Jamaica as the Bank of Nevis, and some say, oh, that is not good marketing. I remind you that we once had a Bank of Nova Scotia, and we had a Royal Bank of Canada. And they were not ashamed to say that I'm from Nova Scotia or I'm from Canada. And just so, we must not be ashamed to say we are the Bank of Nevis.
Among the guests were Her Excellency Deputy Governor General Hailita Liburd, Prime Minister Dr. Terence Drew, and Mr. Timothy Antoine, Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
Your favorite TV shows are just a click away with TVC Plus at tvcplus.live. Stream our 24-hour live programming. Catch the latest episodes of TVC Originals on demand. Enjoy premium pay-per-view content and so much more. Watch on any device, TV, laptop, tablet, or smartphone. Visit www.tvcplus.live. Stream, watch, enjoy.
The SKN Newsline website now offers you more news. Log on to www.sknnewsline.com for local, regional, and international news. You can also watch the latest newscast and keep abreast with news in sports, all from sknnewsline.com. That's www.sknnewsline.com. News at your fingertips.
Good day to the beautiful people of St. Kitts and Nevis. St. Martin News Desk now airs on
Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays on TVC
at 11 a.m. and then again at 5 p.m. So
make sure to tune in.
It's Entertainment TV at its finest. Join us for Main Event, the Caribbean's leading entertainment show only on Television Caribbean TVC. Tune in as our host chats with top artists and entertainers, bring you the latest buzz in entertainment, and showcase the hottest music videos from the region's biggest stars. Main Event airs on Thursdays at 8 p.m. with rebroadcast on Fridays at 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. When it comes to entertainment, it's always the Main Event on TVC.
Laurie Savan Joseph Henry of Malone Avenue, Bastia, has been sentenced to His Majesty's Prison on multiple offences relating to ammunition and controlled drugs. The offences committed on September 6, 2024, were addressed at the Bastia Magistrates Court, District A, on December 8th, before Her Honour Rhonda Nisbet Brown. According to police, Mr. Joseph received the following sentences: possession of ammunition, 2 years and 2 months imprisonment; possession of crack cocaine with intent to supply, 2 years and 2 months imprisonment; and possession of crack cocaine, 1 year and 6 months imprisonment. All sentences are to run concurrently, with time spent on remand deducted from the final sentence. In a separate case, Clement Daru of Wade's Garden has been charged with the possession of firearm and possession of ammunition for offences committed on November 11, 2025 at Thibault Avenue. Mr. Darrow was formally charged at the Bastia Police Station on December 5th. Previously, on November 30th, he had been charged with possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life, discharging a loaded firearm in public place, and discharging a loaded firearm within 40 yards of a public place. Authorities continue to investigate the matter. The Dry Season Caribbean Climate Outlook Forum, CARICOF, was recently held in St. Kitts and Nevis at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. Meteorological and climate experts from across the region gathered at the event, which offered key insights into the upcoming dry season and its potential impacts on critical sectors throughout the Caribbean. Cedric Van Meerbeek, climatologist at the Climate Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology in Barbados, outlined the purpose and context of the meeting held at the Marriott.
One is to present what we forecast are going to be the climate conditions and how they are going to impact the region in terms of impacts such as on the water sector, on the agriculture sector, on the health sector, for disaster risk management, for energy, and for tourism over the next 3 to 6 months. That's our first goal. And we just presented the outlook before the recording here. The next thing we're going to do is learning to interpret what is the forecast and the impacts of the forecast to start to know how to build contingency planning into our sectors. What measures do we need to take as a result of what we see or what we expect to see in the next few months? The third thing we're doing, and that's
he further noted that a range of strategies is being implemented to disseminate the forum's findings to stakeholders across the region.
To produce the climate information, but also to absorb the climate information into our decision making. So in essence, the climate forecast and climate information becomes decision support for the socioeconomic sectors that are most affected by climate. First of all, we disseminate with our meteorological offices throughout the Caribbean, and they can then downscale the information, make it tailored to their country's context. Secondly, we work with the media. It's very important that we also understand as meteorologists and climatologists that we need to speak plain English. So working together with media professionals has been helping us to actually change the tone of our messages to be more valuable to the global, to the general public. Then we also work with our 6 socioeconomic sectors that are mostly impacted by climate. And we do that through a formal arrangement in the Caribbean that has been going on now for 11 years.
The forum was facilitated and hosted in St. Kitts by the St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority, SCASPA. In an interview with SK Newsline, SCASPA CEO Adiola Moore explained the agency's involvement and support in hosting the event.
And SCASPA is here because the meteorology department falls under our purview at SCASPA, and it is very important for us to be here to show our support on what we can do and the support we intend to pledge towards that department in mitigating strategies towards climate variability and climate change initiatives.
As the Caribbean enters the dry season, typically marked by reduced rainfall, water shortages, increased drought risk, and impacts on agriculture and public health, CARICOF remains a crucial regional mechanism for strengthening early warning systems, improving preparedness, and supporting climate-informed decision-making. Andre Huey, SKN Newsline.